Yes, you read that caption absolutely correct. You may be eligible for a credit of a maximum of $5,110 if you were vaccinated for COVID-19 in 2021 between April 1st of 2021 to September 30th of 2021. The credit is $5,101 if you're single or head of household, and if you're married and both spouses are self-employed, you get a maximum credit of $10,222. Now, this shouldn't be any surprise to you. In 2021, the government was pushing for people to get the COVID-19 vaccine. And this was everywhere. They were giving incentives. It was ridiculous. You don't remember? Come on, let's take a memory lane walk, shall we?
West Virginia, those who get vaccinated could win some major prizes, like a chance to win a college scholarship or a new pickup truck.
That's right, you could win $1 million.
How about a chance to win $1 million?
The winner each Wednesday will receive $1 million.
We're going to give 5 custom hunting rifles and 5 custom hunting shotguns away.
A $100 savings bond in West Virginia, a $10,000 scholarship in Lancaster, California, free beer in New Jersey, donuts from Krispy Kreme, Shake Shack fries in New York City.
You just think of this when you think of vaccination.
Yeah, it was totally wild. And you see it. In this video, we're going to go over why this is even happening. Why are you even getting a credit of $5,111? How it works, and give you a couple examples. This is Carlos Fraser from TAXko Tips, and let's get into it.
Be strong.
All right, so why are we even getting this? One of the first bills that were ever passed for the coronavirus was the Family First Coronavirus Response Act. And then inside that act, they had ability to give your employees sick pay or family leave, up to $511 per day for sick leave and $200 a day for family leave. And you started to see a lot of these things going around social media for your 2020 return. You can get $15,110. You don't remember it? It was like this. You saw them everywhere. This is the same exact credit. So what happened is, in 2021, the government wanted to push for the incentive for people to get the COVID-19 vaccine.
I'm laying out additional steps we should be taking to deliver these life-saving vaccines to more Americans. First, we're going to provide more incentives to encourage unvaccinated Americans to get vaccinated. That starts with paid leave to get the shot. We're still hearing that people are unable to get time off from their employer to get vaccinated. Well, this is unacceptable.
And if you had employees that were sick after they took the vaccine, they were able to get sick pay. That same thing is equivalent to self-employed individuals. The payroll deduction for a corporation or S Corp was a $7,200, but now the self-employed individual can get it on a 7202 tax form. So that's why it's really happening. So now I know you're asking yourself, wait, so do I qualify? So to qualify, once again, you had to take the COVID-19 vaccine in between that allotted amount of time. In addition to that, you had to have had symptoms that make you unable to perform your self-employed or business duties physically or even telework-wise. And if you had that, you then qualify to take that credit. There's a maximum of 10 days, and that maximum, depending on the income that you earn from the business, is equivalent to the $5,100. All right, so now let's go on to something a little bit deeper. Let's talk about record keeping, because you don't have to go to your tax return provider, your tax advisor, your CPA, your EA, and say, hey, here's my COVID card. That would be wild. I think that's against HIPAA laws. It should be against HIPAA laws, right? All you have to do is document when you took that COVID-19 vaccine, what illnesses happened to you and what made you unable to work, and you just document it. Now remember, when you file a tax return, it is basically a perjury statement. On the bottom of your tax return, you say basically everything that I did, I have backup for. Because the IRS has a thing called the burden of proof. The IRS doesn't have any burden of proof. The burden of proof is on you. So think about criminal law where you go murder someone like OJ, they have to build up a case to say, hey, you did it. With the IRS, it doesn't work like that. They can just open your door and say, hey, that's him. You have to prove your innocence. So keep records because the burden of proof is on you. If the glove don't fit, you must have quit. All right, before we even jump into examples, let's summarize everything once again very clearly so everyone understands how it works. So when you speak to your tax advisor or your CPA or your tax attorney, you know what you're articulating to them. All right, so number one, the COVID-19 related credit is for qualified sick leave between April 1st, 2021 through September 30th, 2021. Self-employed taxpayers who were unable to telework because of the COVID-19 vaccination, or you were recovering from an injury, disability, or illness or condition related to the vaccination. That's a very, very important point. It has to be the vaccine. It doesn't mean if you caught COVID and you could get this credit. That was 2020. You could have caught COVID and been sick and we could have took the credit for that in 2020. In 2021, it is only if you received the vaccine and you fell down with illness. You can get a credit up to the total of 10 days, which is equivalent to 80 hours of sick leave. The credit is 100% of your net after expended self-employed income, capped at $511 per day for 10 days. We use the tax form 7202. If you file a Schedule C or a K1, box 14 has to be populated if you get a K1. That's very important. If you have a K1 or you're in a partnership and you get your share, box 14 has to be populated. Because for this credit to work, you have to pay into self-employment tax, which is the equivalent of Social Security and Medicare and FICA as an employer. If you're not paying into it, you do not get this credit. So if you are a partner in a partnership and you get passive income, you do not get this credit. No C Corp or S Corp, because they get to file the 7200, can qualify for this credit in 2021. This is a refundable credit. What that means is if you have a tax liability of $1,000 and you get a credit of $1,700, $700 will be actually refunded to you. There's a refundable credit. After all taxes paid, the government will refund money to you. And that's dope, actually. That's the dopest thing I've ever heard. If you or your spouse are both self-employed, you may claim a separate credit on your Form 7202. So what that means is if your wife has her self-employed income and you have your self-employed income and you both have it, you both have to file a separate 7202 for the tax return in 2021. If you were vaccinated between those days, you gotta be between those days. You can elect to use your 2020 income instead of your 2021 income. This is a dope move. So the IRS allows you on the 7202 to use retroactive income in 2020. So if your income fell in 2021 and 2020 was actually a good year for you, you have the ability to use your 2020 income instead of your 2021 income. So if you're an Uber driver and your income wasn't 50, it was almost 55,000, you can use your 2020 income to apply for this credit. If you look at this example, this is kind of how the credit works. To get the maximum $5,110, you have to have a profit of $150,000. So as you can see, it's around 4 to 3.6% of whatever your profit is, that's the credit. This is nothing to sneeze at. Let's say you have a profit of $50,000. You're an Uber driver, you have a profit of $50,000. We're talking a good sizable amount of a credit that can help you out. Even if you have a small amount, every dollar counts. Every dollar counts. One thing about taxes, you want to reduce in every single way you can, little by bit, because that breaks down the tax liability. Any good tax return preparer, advisor, EA, even IRS agent will tell you that right away. You do not need to see a doctor to claim this credit. Record keeping is key. Document the days you are unable to work or telework because of the vaccine. Keep a statement on record that you could not perform your service in the business teleworking because of the COVID-19 vaccines. Remember what I said, if the glove don't fit, you must acquit. The burden of proof is on you. Keep good records. And honestly, I'll be honest with you, they already know if you had the COVID-19 vaccine or not. I went to the hospital in December for an injury. They didn't even ask me. I saw on my chart all the vaccines and the boosters that I had, as long as I put in my name. So they kind of know. So this is not a place where you want to play around with. S Corps and C Corps do qualify. However, with the S Corps and C Corps, you have to have these certain elements. Less than 500 employees, offered sick pay between April 1st, 2001 and September 30th, 2021, and the employee took sick leave. So this is more a payroll thing. So if you are an S Corp and a C Corp and you weren't aware of this, you can speak to your payroll provider and see if you can amend the return or speak to them to fill out what's called a 7200 form to receive that credit. Thank you so much for listening to this video. I hope it helps. Death and taxes are certain. Life is short. Pay less taxes. It's Carlos Fraser from TAXko Tips. See you later. Is it me, or does dude look like Doctor Strange? Come on, look like he's gonna just conjure up something and make it look like Doctor Strange. Come on, he does, right? Wait, whoa, is that how you say $1 million in sign language? You do huh? I'm an ass. I shouldn't do that. That's 7202 form will save your life. Save your life. Why did I do that? I don't know. I think some people will be afraid to take it. I ain't afraid. I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared. Nuck if you buck, boy. Nuck if you buck, boy. Nuck, 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 nuck. If you buck, boy. Oh, you can tell my age from that song. Damn it. Look at the sign language for a gun. I mean, it makes sense. But bang, 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 bang.